What's up? It's Mathew Blades, and welcome to a quick tips episode of Learn from People Who Lived It. The premise of this thing is simple. If I only had you for 5 minutes, what would I want you to know about our previous podcast that came out this past Monday? Well, we sat down with Julie Potiker and we covered all kinds of goodness. From the joy list, which we're going to talk about in a second, to are we over-medicating when it comes to mental health? We're going to answer that question in today's quick tips. But first, I love Julie's approach to writing. She's just got this incredible approach to it to simplify the process, to make it so that even people like me who don't enjoy the process of writing so much, to get into it, and to get into it intentionally with something she calls a joy list. Here's how she advises we all do it. How do I make my joy list?
Okay, it's stream of consciousness. I do it at the beginning of all my workshops. You take a pen or a pencil and you just write down for a couple minutes everything you can think of that brings you joy. And remember things like planning a trip, because even planning a trip makes people happy because they're visualizing it, right? You know, like everything you can think of, listening to bird song, having a glass of wine as long as you're not an alcoholic, you know, like getting together with friends, whatever it is, really long list. And you can add to it and then copy it and have it in different places. Keep it in your car. And then when you learn your mindfulness toolboxes, you'll add stuff to it that you don't have on it now, like breath work, meditating, mindful eating, mindful walking, you know, like all the mindfulness tools and tricks that you learn from somebody like me that end up being joyful because they make you feel better. You add them to your joy list too.
So hop to it, get to your joy list today at some point. Then we had a really important conversation about medicine as it relates to mental health. You know, Dr. Dave is our resident psychiatrist. He's been in that field for, going on almost 30 years now, and he's such a smart guy. And what I really love about Dave is his ability to make really complex things a little easier to understand. And so the other thing I love about Dave is that he allows me to ask messy questions like this one. I know this because it's my story, so maybe I should just speak personally. I remember in the early days when somebody said to me for the first time, you have a mood disorder and I think you should start taking this medication and you should try this. Ultimately, we pop that pill because we just want to feel better. And we just want some of the noise and some of the shit to just settle down a little bit. And so my question to you is, do you think most people need a pill, or do more people just need to learn a practice like this? And then I'm sure there's a right time and a place for that pill to be in everybody. But I'm wondering if your vantage point as a recovering psychiatrist is, are we over medicating people, and could most people feel better in their bodies and their skin by learning a practice like this? So have at it.
I wouldn't say necessarily over medicating, but if you think that taking a pill is going to be enough, you're mistaken. Right. Okay. And when you look at the statistics about medication response rates, you're not going to get over 60% response. So what is that other 40%? That other 40% is your mental attitude toward things, repeating patterns of trauma from childhood that kind of keep you in, patterns of negative thought. And so there's a lot of other things that go into it other than just the medication. What the medication can do is it can tip the thresholds, right? So when you're starting to get depressed, if there's a threshold where you're going to either engage or not engage in a particular thing, the medication might tip it so that you're more likely to be engaged. And if you're engaged, then you can do positive things and then start slowly digging yourself out of the hole. You're not going to ever feel happy just from taking a pill, because all of the behaviors that support feeling connected to things and feeling like you're accomplishing things and feeling love and feeling compassion for other people, that's not going to come from medication, no matter how you slice it.
Such a good answer. I encourage everybody to check out the entire podcast with Dr. Dave, Julie Potiker, and myself, Mathew Blades. You can go back and listen to that episode right now. And do me a huge favor. After listening to it, if there's somebody you feel like needs to hear it, please hit that share button. That's why we're here. Have a great rest of your week, and we'll see you next week for an all new episode.